Hey, this is Steven Silver, and welcome, Happy New Year, and welcome to another Art Talk. This is third time's a charm. I was recorded this twice already, and it never worked on my other computer, and that's why I'm facing just a different perspective in my office here. So what I was going to talk about today was about having kids and being an artist, because that was something I struggled with. Now, not anymore. My kids are 10 and 12, so I get it now. I know the experience. I know what to go through, and that's something that I will share. But I'm going to do it next week. I decided I wanted to hit on something, I think, just a little bit more important, just based on just a lot of emails that I receive and messages of artists who have now acquired some form of skill, some sort of training, but have no idea where to go. And this is a constant thing going on. And I really have to blame I'm not going to name any schools out there, but a lot of the schools that are releasing a lot of these artists into the real world of no understanding, of just not even having the full idea of the whole production aspect of drawing or what goes on in the studios too. So now they're really lost, and I see this happening over and over again. So here you have the talent, but maybe they don't understand a lot of the production, and now they don't even know where to go. So it comes down to that real understanding of using your left side of the brain, where we're very creative. We like to use the right side of our brain, where this is where our imagination stems from, our ideas. And we're good at that, or we're learning that, and we're pushing towards that, but then with no understanding of the business side or negotiating side, and how to even respond to a simple letter that you may get from a client. How do I respond to that? And these are the things that are missing. So it's very important when you are looking for a school or you do want to study, just make sure that you're going to be getting some of that within your curriculum, because if you don't, then I feel that it could be a real loss. And over, people spending 4 years sometimes in school, 3 years, 2 years, and still nowhere to go, just find themselves in a lot of debt, and you don't want to be one of those people. It's important to understand for yourself. I believe there's two types of artists. You're either a commercial artist or you're a fine artist. Now, you can be both. You can do fine art and you can do commercial art. You can mix that. But what I feel is important to know about those two, where the fine artist is, in my mind, and I just came from watching that movie Big Eyes by Tim Burton, which is phenomenal if you haven't seen it, are as people who just have something to say. I feel you're just kind of born that way. You just kind of know what story you want to mention. You've experienced things and you want to paint it and get it out. What I realize is that if you don't have that, I'm recording, dude. What's going on? Okay, up. What I realize is that if it's not natural, just don't do it. You can't force yourself to tell stories of experiences that you've never had in your life. It's just not going to work. So it's almost this calling that you have within inside you. It's very deep. It's very personal. And that's what makes it easier for you to sit in front of that blank canvas and start painting. So my suggestion is you don't want to force that. For myself, I was never of that mindset. I tried painting, but I realized I'm not a painter. It's not within me. It's not within my heart. It's not within my soul. I'm just not that type of artist. And I was so thankful to learn and experience just being a commercial artist and learning what that means. I've been a commercial artist since the age of 18. So I've been freelancing since the age of 18. I'm now 43. I've been doing this my whole career. And for the last 8 years, I've been not working in the studios at all. I still do work for the studios, but a lot of my work is working with various different clients all over the world. And that's where the commercial art comes into play, where I like to be given not necessarily it's an idea, but there's a platform. It's like, listen, we're looking for a designer to create something for blah, 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 where you have to be creative. You have to have an imagination. You are using all these tools as an artist, but it's for print in a way, or it's for production. and you kind of know where you're at. So in the television production side, I'm given a script. I get to read through the script. I get to learn about the characters, and I get to then move into the production aspect that requires me coming up with the ideas, that requires me coming up with that visual look, that requires me coming up with sometimes, you know, the style, depending on, you know, the shows, unless something's already maybe been created, which most people will fall into that category. But then I have to do the turnarounds. I have to do the cleanup. I have to do the expressions, mouth charts, things like that. And these are things that will carry you through. Something that I do just want to throw out there, which is important, and I want to say this because more and more artists I meet, when I say, what do you want to do? They say, oh, I want to be a character designer for feature. I want to do feature character design or concept. And the reality is, and this is the truth, and I say this because a great friend of mine who is a top position at a top feature animation studio told me that getting all these portfolios of people who want to do this, their skills are sort of subpar, but what they need to understand is the reality is most feature studios are using maybe the same 5-6 guys, and you see it over and over again, these top guys that are being used over. And she said, we want to keep using these people because they have all the experience and they're the top of the food chain, and we know their work, we know what they've done, and these are the people that we kind of keep using over and over. So the reality is we're not going to be hiring all these people, you know, and that this is all they want to do. But more so in the television aspect is where you're going to find you're going to get hired for these things, because the television aspect is thriving. And this, I'm talking about getting into the Netflix, the Hulu, Google's getting in the game. The television productions. Gaming is another area that's huge. Is another viable market where it's not just doing all the concept, and there's so many different levels of gaming. There's so many new businesses that need more of the television production type of artist. So to understand that is what's going to carry you through too. Because you're going to find they want the polished, finished stuff at the end. They need stuff for production. It's not just about coming up with the idea, the blue sky, which they call it, where you're just coming up with just an idea and you're just drawing your style, doing whatever. No, you have to be versatile. These are the things you need to learn. These are the things you need to understand if you want to have a sustaining career and keep going further on. Just don't get so caught up that I just want to work for them and do this one thing, because you're cheating yourself, okay? And the other thing is, make sure that you're learning the heart of the business side. Watching those Discovery Channel, the History Channel, learn from all these different things. That's where I learn a lot from, and just negotiating and understanding that is another huge part. So really think about this. Take this into consideration. Make sure that you're not going to a school where you're just going to be shown what to do and learn a few techniques here and there, because that's not what it's about. That's not what's going to get you further and push you to that next side. There's a lot of things that are involved that I feel in order to start getting yourself out there, promoting yourself, and that's what you have to do. And if you're afraid to promote yourself, and if you say, I just don't want to do that, that's not me, not to say you're not going to find that job because you got the talent, but it's the road may be a little bit harder. And it's a new world right now. It's a world of promotion where you have to do this. You have to have that mindset. That's what's going to carry the longevity within your career. I personally advise it. That's why I teach it and why I feel it's just so vital and important. Okay, so that's it. Next week I will talk about what it means to be a dad and an artist at the same time. Some of you will experience this, and even if you're young, think about it. When I was younger, I was 18, 17 years old when I was starting to read up an artist and try to find out how can you be a dad and be a parent and be an artist at the same time. So that's something I'll discuss next week, all right? So thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you next week. Take care.